is Jeannie Graham, and I will be giving you my persuasive speech on stopping child abuse. Have you been hit? How do you think your child would feel if they were hit like you have hit them? There are four main types of child abuse. It's physical, sexual, psychological, and neglect. As in prior years, neglect was the most common form of mistreatment. Different jurisdictions have developed their own definition of what consists of child abuse for the purpose of removing a child from his or her family and or prosecuting a criminal charge. Child abuse is physical, sexual, or emotional mistreatment or neglect of a child or children. In the United States, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Department of Children and Families define child mistreatment as any series of acts of commission or omission by a parent or caregiver of the child that results in harm or potential harm, or the threat of harm to a child. Child abuse can occur in a child's home, an organization, schools, the community. The child, whoever interacts with the child, can be abused. There are four major categories of child abuse: neglect, physical abuse, psychological or emotional abuse, and sexual. Child abuse can take several forms. The four main types are physical, sexual, psychological, or neglect. According to the 2010 Child Mistreatment Report, a yearly federal report based on submission by state child protective services agencies, as in prior years, neglect was the most common for mistreatment in children. The cases were submitted as followed: neglect, 78.3%. Physical abuse, 17.6%. Sexual abuse, 9.2%. And sociological mistreatment, 8.1%. According to Richard Watson, the director of National Coalition of Child Protection Reform, of those labeled substance or indicated by proven workers, relatively few are the kind that leap to mind where we hear the words child abuse. By far, the largest category was neglect. Emotional abuse is defined as the product of sociological and social defects in the growth of a child as a result of behavior such as loud yelling, cursing, and rude attitude, intentions, harsh criticism, and diagnosis of the children's personality. Victims of emotional abuse may react by distinguishing themselves from the abuser, internalizing the abuser's words, or fighting back by insulting the abuser. Emotional abuse can result in abdominal or disrupt attached displacement, a tendency for victims to blame themselves. It's never the child's fault for neglect nor an abuse. The parent should take preventions and the steps to prevent from ever hitting their child. No child nor children deserves to get hit, no matter what they do. Here are 10 ways you can prevent child abuse. Every day, 5 children die because of abuse and neglect. All child help, our goal is to see the number drop to 0 of child abuse. Here are 10 ways you can help us just to do that. Be a nurturing parent. Nurturing involves meeting basic physical needs of your child. Check out these great tips from a nurturing parent. Don't hit your child. Always know that if you were to hit them, how would you feel if it hit you back? The second is help a friend, a neighbor, or relative. Everyone sometimes feels stressed or overwhelmed or out of patience, but these kinds of emotions is left unabated and can lead to regardless parenting decisions. 3. Help yourself and de-stress when necessary. Don't let your stress level hit skyrocket to where you lose it. 4. When your baby cries, be patient. Don't lose it right away. It gets better. 5. Get involved. Don't sit back and be one of the parents who don't want to hear what the kids' day was. Get involved and talk to them. 6. Help develop parenting resources. You are a parent who feels like they have wisdom and experience to share. Contact your library and offer to help them develop parenting resources so this doesn't keep happening, so we can drop our numbers to 0. 7. Monitor your child's media intake. Don't let your kids sit there 24/7 in front of a TV. It doesn't help them, and it's not making your job easier. It makes the kid dumber. And then neglect happens because you're neglecting to be your parent and you're just leaving the TV to be a mom. 8. Promote programs in school. Help the school and your community be the source of education about child abuse, not just math, English, and science. 9. Volunteer at a local child abuse prevention program. Another way to get involved in the fight against child abuse is to volunteer your time. 10. Report suspect abuse or neglect. Don't let it go out the other ear. If you see it, report it, because how do you know the child's not going to end up dead tomorrow? There are plenty of ways to prevent child abuse. If you know that you're not a fit parent and you have anger issues, get help. Do the Mommy and Me programs, do the parenting programs, and do everything you can to get out there and get it fixed so your child isn't neglected. Every day, 3 children in the United States are murdered by a parent or caretaker. 565,000 children are seriously injured while 18,000 are permanently disabled every year due to child abuse. 3 million children were reported as victims of child abuse and neglect in 1999 in the United States. Child abuse kills more children in America than accidental falls. Choking on food, suffocating, or fires in the home, none of these amount to the amount of child abuse we get. As if these statistics were horrifying enough, there are occurring in relying the actual number of children that have fallen victims to child abuse in the United States. Don't treat your children this way. Think about how they feel when your hand is lashed on them in a harmful manner. No child ever deserves to be beaten, neglected, or any form of hurting them. Your child, all they see is an arm coming up to them every time, knowing they're going to get hit. You think they're going to want to stay when they get older? Parents should know the difference between violence and spanking, their families, counseling, and ways to learn parenting skills. Abusive parents tend to have a chemical addiction, have no parenting skills, or can be suffering from a report on an average of every 10 seconds, 3 children die every day. Colorado ranks third in the nation for deaths resulting in child abuse. Let's put a stop to child abuse. Everybody get out there, and if you see it, stop it and report it.